Hello there, my name is Bruce and welcome to the very first Tinker Different live Q&A. How is everyone?
Good.
Doing fantastic.
Doing okay.
This is going to be very informal. Just to sort of explain a couple of things here, we have a list of questions that have already been submitted, and we're going to go through and we're going to answer those. And at the end of that, we will then open up the chat. If anyone has any additional questions, to pop them in there. Just letting people know that we do have a subscriber chat activated, which means that you do need to subscribe to the channel if you want to type in the chat. So you need to subscribe and I think wait 5 minutes, and then you'll have an opportunity to type into the chat. I think did I mention this? We're planning this shouldn't go over an hour. We would ideally like to keep it sort of 60 minutes or under. We're going to try not to bore people, but we just based on the fact that we created a Q&A section on the forum, and we just got bombarded with questions, and we thought that was fantastic. So we thought this is a great way to do it. You can all get to know us. You can see faces behind the avatars on the forum. This is unfortunately not everyone. We do have quite a lot more people, but we are balancing lots of different time zones. So getting everyone together is quite a challenge. So as I say, me, Bruce from Brankus, we've got Steve Mac84, we've got James JDW, we've got Kai here, we've got Christian here, who people may know as Fog Wraith, certainly the person behind Macintosh Garden, and then we've got Mr. Fahrenheit. Now he is a secret government agent, so he cannot show his face. So well, that's what we say anyway. So
I'm also 200 degrees.
Yeah. So anyhow, I figure what we'll probably do is we'll just kick it off because that's what we're here for. So we've just got a few questions here that I'll just bring up onto the screen, and then we'll go through and answer it. Now, the first question we've pretty much answered this, but obviously the people that I've introduced here, but there are quite a few other important people here. Who wants to go and mention some of the other fancy names that we have as part of the sort of organizational group here?
Steve has been chosen.
How about you, Mr. Fahrenheit? You're the one that sort of pulled us all together in the first place. So, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's just start with this, because this will then spin into who everyone else is. So away you go, Mr. Fahrenheit.
All right. So I prepared this little essay to answer a whole bunch of questions. So I'm just going to read it off. Hopefully, this answers a lot of things. So, in the summer of 2020. Curtis and I, some people know who Curtis is. He's on Reddit as just Curtis. Curtis and I were having discussions about starting our own forum community. There were countless things we wanted to see from a site that nobody offered, at least on one site, a giant resource, community, information, wiki, links to essential downloads, GitHub creations. Our concern was server performance, a solid backup strategy, transparency among the site holders, admins, and the ability to house a lot of different but related content all on one site. We wanted something that could be around for decades and decades to come. I did not feel that this was a project for two people, however, so it got put on hold. We tossed ideas and dwelled on it for nearly a year. I noticed, subsequent to an event that happened, that we needed to get back to this idea that we had started. So I reached out again to Curtis and mentioned that we should start moving forward, and offered that we could ask as many pillars in the community as we could to create an open forum by the community for the community. He agreed, and I started reaching out to various members. Reaching out to various members I saw as being important in the community for their roles, their creations, and their participation. Our group of few was established, and immediately suggestions were tossed in about who all to invite into this exciting new project. By August, we had a team of over 10 very intelligent and diverse people, and we started working on the ideas we all had. Out of democratic suggestions and ultimately majority votes, what we have today, Tinker Different, is the result. I just want to take a moment to thank our founding members for all of the hard work we have put in through countless obstacles and challenges. Without each and every one of you, this dream never would have come to fruition. I'd like to personally thank Curtis, who put the idea in my head about starting a forum. I'd like to thank Bruce, or Brankus, for being a ringleader for our group and helping to coordinate and organize us. I'd like to thank Kai Robinson for his passion and love that he has expressed for the community, which has been shown with his passion for this project. I'd like to thank James Wages for his active participation and ideas and opinions, which have challenged us in ways to make the site and community a better place. I'd like to thank Steve, or Mac84, for all of the hard work he has done. Steve has served as our interim president until we can hold a founding members vote and secure a permanent term president. I'd like to thank Eric Helgeson, Steve Huddle, Stephen Arsenault, Fogwaith or Christian, Hyper Talking, James, Zane of Garrett's Workshop, and Mark of Mac Effects, and anyone else that I've forgotten, for all of the hard work and continuing effort you all have done on this project. At times we were busy doing other things, and at times we worked countless hours into the night, middle of the night, and mornings, and all hours of days and nights around the world. And I wish to sincerely thank our beta testers for trying out our new platform and community and offering suggestions on how we could improve. We listened. And I wish to thank this awesome community for everything we will see and become as we grow. So as we move forward now that we have launched, we will ever evolve and improve. We will grow and expand and help and serve the community to which we came from. So I'll turn it back to Bruce.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So that obviously, that gives the history there. I mean, we'll probably make that make that available for people to read on the forum, because it is important. And yes, so if you're looking for someone to blame, Mr. Fahrenheit's your man. But yeah, look, he's the one that brought us all together. And yeah, he's obviously just brought such wonderful people. That's probably the main thing. And with that, I'm probably then going to just jump straight into this one here, which is what were your goals in creating this website? And that's something probably all of us can answer. Does anyone want to put their hand up for that? Because if not, I'll just answer it.
You volunteered yourself there, Bruce, I think.
Yeah, I think I might have. Yeah. So look, one of the really important things about this is that all of us, we're tinkerers. We consider ourselves ultimately tinkerers, whatever you want to call it. And although, someone like me, my primary interest is in something like Macs, it's not just Macs. I do all sorts of things. I tinker with 3D printers. I tinker with Raspberry Pis. I tinker with cameras, with phones, you name it. And ultimately, we wanted to create a place where all of these ideas that we have, all of these creations, all of these different things can all live in one location. And, we thought about it, and it's like, that we don't really have something like that where, it is just open to all of these different types of vintage computers, all of these different types of ideas, all of these creations that we're, sort of various people have been making. And so that was really it. We wanted to create this, this singular location where all of these wonderful ideas can come together, and you're not going to be in a situation where it's like, oh yeah, no, we're just Mac group. We're not interested in that. We want sort of the passion and all of the different interests to all come together in the one place. How's that? Does anyone want to continue on that?
I just think it's refreshing, because there's a lot of groups that I've been a part of, and it's usually very specific to a particular interest, and it's nice to look and see what other conversations are going on, because I might not have a particular interest in, let's say, a Commodore 64 or whatever, but maybe I have one in my garage, and I come across it one day and I say, oh, it'd be great if I could talk to somebody to help me get this working again, because it's doing this or that, or it's not doing this or that. And I don't have to sign up for anything new. Everyone is already talking about it. I just got to scroll down a little bit, click on a topic. And, it's not like I have to go and find another whole group of people to discuss this with. There's already a great community here.
I'd like to say that I think we've got something unique in the fact that the amount of categories that we have. I know that there's already been discussion, of how much we've got going on under one roof. We've got Commodore, we've got Atari, we've got Sinclair, we've got Acorn, we've got DEC workstations, SGI, Sun, your own car, stuff you're doing that you're pulling out of your fridge. There's a section for literally everything in one place, one community. Obviously, there's a lot of communities out there that might have like a bit of an off-topic section or anything, but I think we've got something that's fairly expansive and wide-ranging. So if you want to come to our forum and you want to say, hey, my ECU in my BMW is not working, it's like, wow. Well, we can cross-supply some of our skills there. Have you thought about recapping it? Have you thought about, you got a loose lead there? We can identify those components for you. So if you want to do that sort of stuff, that's great. You want to do something with a retro computer, that's fine. You got a broken washing machine. Hey, just show us what you're doing, Bruce, I believe you're an expert on these things as well.
Oh, I fixed 2 ovens in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, if anyone wants to, I can tell you one thing. One failure point on those things is the relays. So just so everyone knows.
So basically, the summary of what we're all saying in answer to the question of what are your goals is a 2-word answer: be different.
Yep, for sure.
And also be diverse as well.
Yes, definitely. I just a quick shout out to Oz Retro Comp. He said that we do have an apostrophe in the wrong place with micros because we are referring to micros in the plural, not micro is. So we have an apostrophe after the S, which is wrong. One of the things that does happen with computers sometimes is we actually deliberately put apostrophes in the wrong place so that it doesn't end up spelling a weird word like micros. This is one of the things that happens with computers. You talk about like say a Macintosh 2 CI. You got the two I's and the C and the I. If you talk about them in plural, you create a new computer called a 2CIS. So what I sometimes do is put apostrophes in there just to to help clarify what we're actually trying to say and not to invent new words. But yes, grammatically it is incorrect. I do realize that.
I will put my hand up and take the blame for that, because I was putting together the categories mostly at about 3:00 in the morning with one eye. So yeah.
Which one? Which was it? Your good eye?
No. It's this one. This one is my good eye. It's my bad eye. Literally everything was blurring. I'm like trying to hammer out the categories, like must finish typing, and it was on a Wednesday, like a Wednesday morning or something ridiculous. I had like work in 5 hours, and I was like, this must be done by morning.
Okay, so there we go. We'll let you off for that, and because that's another really important thing to keep in mind is that we are open to ideas. If someone looks at this and says, look, there is a big community of whatever, it'd be great if you created a forum for those people so they've got somewhere to put their sort of their stuff, and we will be listening. So yeah, okay. So I am now going to keep it moving, and we are going to move on to this curly question. Dun, dun, dun. James, you going to take this one?
I'll take this one. I'm not the designated treasurer, but I do know the answer. And basically, as you can imagine, we've just begun. We've just opened the doors to all of you to join the forum. So we had to get the server, the hosting, Zenforo licensing. We have a dark mode theme that costs money too. So as you can imagine, our founding members contributed and are currently contributing to the funding of the forum. Now, of course, we don't want that to last forever. We will always have some kind of contribution that we will need to put into it, but we want to loosen it up a little bit, because whenever you pay money, usually you have rights to something. As a consumer, you pay money for a product, you get a product. So we don't want to have all of that power concentrated in us. We want to give forum members the ability to contribute. So yes, eventually we'll have something like a Patreon, PayPal, something like that, where individual forum members can contribute, and we will be transparent, of course, with the money flow, where it's all going to, that it's not going to cups of coffee and steaks and things like that, but it's actually going to supporting the forum. And more than just that, we have some exciting things planned. I'm not really at liberty to give all of the details, but basically merchandise, Tinker Different branded merchandise. And we're not just talking about the boring stuff like cups and t-shirts and things like that. We're actually pondering some really useful things, electronic things that you could actually use in a vintage computer. So, things like that are coming. That obviously we're going to subtract the cost for the circuit boards and other things like that, but the profits would go towards funding the site. So really, that is the simple answer of how we're funded right now.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out that the intention is not to have any sort of paywall. There will never be a part of the forum where, hey, if you give us this much money per month, you have access to this extra content that nobody else does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was for something like this that is just starting out. It would be a little bit rich for us to turn around and say, hey, guys, come and give us some money. But what we hope to do, we hope to create something where people will they'll want to contribute. They'll want to put in a small amount, sort of to help with the running of the thing. But yeah, we want everyone to have an opportunity to use it and to subscribe to it and get a feel for it and hopefully enjoy it as much as we have been. So so that's pretty much it for that one, I think. Unless anyone else has anything.
I would like to say, Retroviters just asked us, will you host ads? I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No, can't see that happening either.
I hate ads. I absolutely hate ads. And also, I can't see any ad being of any benefit to any member here. Basically, our credo is, if it's not going to benefit like the wider community or the site as a whole, it ain't happening. So ads to the moon, Alice.
Yep, the only ads you're going to see will be, just sort of members who are selling their cool stuff. So, yeah. Okay, so, right, let us move on to, we've pretty much answered this. Will there be a Patreon announced? So this was another question that came in, but we answered that with the last one, so we will move on. What kind of hosting are you using? Now, I'll definitely be handing this over to someone else. Who's going to take it? Okay. All right, Kristen, it's your turn.
What? This was
He was too busy typing.
What kind of hosting? Yeah, so we went with Linode. Kai tricked me into trying them out, and I was pleasantly surprised, positively. So we went with a setup at Linode. And I guess if it's important to go within the kind of specs or how it's set up, if anyone wants to know that.
Baffle us with tech stuff.
So we got two potatoes, and one hosts the database and the other one hosts the website itself. One has, I think it's 2 dedicated CPUs, 4 gigs of RAM. That takes care of the web and the SQL server has like 1 gig of RAM, shared CPU, nothing spectacular, and it will definitely serve our purpose into the far future at least. And if we need more power, we'll just crank up whatever needs cranking up.
So it's all scalable. So if we need more space, we need more CPU, any of that, it's all we can all just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the beauties of hosting everything on Linode is that you can simply power a node down and take it offline for resizing, whether that's moving it from shared to dedicated hosting, or whether or not we're running into in the future like we don't have enough RAM. That's okay. We'll power the node down. We'll put the site in maintenance mode and be like we'll be back in 30 minutes. We just add more RAM. We're downloading more RAM or more storage space, and then we just power it back on again, and it's up, and that's it.
Yep. Excellent. All righty. So this is the next curly question that I'm going to put up here. What will be done to ensure survival of this forum and its contents? There's a stray apostrophe in here again. Hang on. It's a possessive pronoun. It's not meant to have an apostrophe in there. Okay, and there we go. That's better. Okay, so one of the tech people is going to have to take this, not me.
I'll take that one. Okay, so one of the other cool features of Linode is the fact that you get snapshot backups. So the most data we would ever lose and this is a really, really, really like almost not, I won't say impossible situation, but very improbable. The most data we would ever lose would be 24 hours worth. Okay, we can restore from a snapshot. We have snapshots taken every 24 hours, and in addition to that, we also have B2 Backblaze offsite backups as well that we can restore from that aren't synchronized to exactly the same schedule of the snapshots that Linode takes as well. And in addition, as well, I wish Eric was here for to be able to sort of expand on this, but even just today, we're looking at making sort of offline content dumps. So this, so everything in a sort of very basic package. So all forum posts in a readable format that can be downloaded. In like the absolute worst case scenario, we've still got the content there that could be read, by. I mean, I presume the way in which that it's being dumped, it could probably be read on an SE30. Like literally the contents of the database written out in HTML form, but very simple, very basic. Probably won't have like all of the attachments straight away, but we've got backup strategies in place. We're in this for the long haul. We want this content to be around. We want it to be reliable. That's one of the things that we, really, really, really made sure of when we were picking the hosting is like, is it going to be reliable? Is it going to be able to be, backed up? Are we going to be able to re-import data from offsite? Okay. If anyone's worried about posting anything and then us losing it, no. But that's one of the things that we are not going to do. We are not going to lose your content.
It is a shame that Eric can't be here as well. He's someone who has been integral in all of the setting up of the tech side of things. People who may or may not know Eric Helgeson of Blue Scuzzy fame. We were hoping that he would be on today, but life sometimes gets in the way. So
he's too busy building more Blue Scuzzy.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a birthday party, but I just want to answer Elemano's question very quickly. So, is media included in the backups? Yes, it is. So this is both in the snapshots and the B2 Backblaze offsite backups. All of the media is included. The offsite, offline version of it, which is being experimented with in the last couple of days, probably, but again, Eric would know the details for that. But in the main backups, all media, anything that's uploaded to the forum, it's not hosted on Imager or an external site. It's all in our database, which is backed up in multiple places. Okay.
And that's actually the next question that we had. Are images and other attachments hosted on this server or hotlink from wherever Broken Image links 10 years from now? This was a question I'm pretty sure was submitted by Jay from House of Moth. Yes, we've basically just answered that. Yes, everything that is on there is in the one location and part of those backups. So yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna have to deal with. I know from having been a forum admin and a forum mod on various other sites in the past, where people have posted their projects and their images were hosted on, say, PhotoBucket, and then PhotoBucket changes everything, and you just end up with a load of dead links and like thumbnails of like, I really want to see this content. Like, no, we're hosting it, so it ain't going nowhere. And Adam McGee, yes, you can post all of your crazy builds on there. They will live forever. In the year 2700, people will be browsing going, wow, this project was ancient and cool. And they will be able to see all the photos.
Yeah, that must be one of the most frustrating things for someone who is tinkering around with things or someone who's trying to learn something or historical purposes. You ask a very specific question, you find an archive of a site or an old forum or something, and just the content that it's linking off to or the images are just not there. So that would be awesome to not have that problem.
Yes, that's very frustrating. I know I've been there myself a few times. Okay, so we've covered pretty much most of the kind of the serious operational questions. We're going to probably move now into some of the other more obscure questions that we had. Some of these we won't necessarily be able to fully answer because we're all still new. For example, someone submitted this little question here, and he plans to foster active community engagement with contests or events. And I guess the answer will be anything is possible. You know, everything is still very new. The main thing that we're doing at the moment is just checking to see that people sign up and join and contribute and enjoy it and be part of it. But as to what the future holds, we're open for anything. So that would probably be my answer to that, unless anyone else has anything to add to that one.
Yeah, I think, you know, anything that we learn across the way, and you know, we see something, an opportunity to do something cool, I'm sure we'll take advantage of that. But yeah, like Bruce said, it's early days.
I think actually, you know, as Adam McGee just said, there is this video an event. I suppose, yeah, it does count as an event, and this is one thing that, you know, a lot of other forums, you know, don't do is solicit its community for, you know, for feedback. And one of the things that we have spoken about, not made any concrete plans of, is to maybe do town hall events, like, you know, the state of the forum, how is everything going? Let's do, you know, why don't we just like show us some really cool projects, even if it is just, you know, a couple, you know, 2 or 3 projects for like a 30-minute video once a month or something like that. That's something that is definitely something we've thought about.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that you know, sort of a regular, just kind of an announcement of some of the cool stuff that's there. I mean, I just think something like that will be great for everyone to look at. So we've got a question in here that I'm just going to pop up. Where is it? Oh, okay. This is an important one. Oh, no, hang on. It's moved. Sorry, it jumped up at the last minute. So this one is from Sean. When is the Mac 8.6 compatible Tinker Different app coming out? And that is actually one of the important things. And this is using a product called Zen 4.0 for the forum. And unfortunately, you can't view this on an old System 7 or System 8 computer. And for that, we sincerely apologize.
Well, don't say never.
I will say this kind of ties into our offline version. If you do want to download the offline version of just dumped content, however that's going to be structured, that will work probably fine. Like I said, on an SC30 running NCSA Mosaic.
We have, you know, packages you could purchase of 50 floppy disks per, you know, topic, and you know, we do offer 800K disks. So you know the pricing does jump a little bit, but if you're dedicated enough, Sean, you know that's one way to support us is by buying our archives on floppy or ImageWriter 2 output. So there you go.
Regarding that.
Anybody wants the version with media included, they can purchase box of limited edition zip discs
with free click of death.
So yeah, about the app, it's entirely possible. Eric's stuff is most likely being based on the data will be in JSON, most likely, and Zenforo does have an API that we can examine further later down the road. So it's not impossible at all. I mean, we could probably hook up stuff to talk to 128K Mac or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Get those modems ready.
I mean, this is the perfect opportunity to say, you know, if there are any other software developers out there that want to write an app, that wants to post their project on, why not use us as a guinea pig? You know, use our data set. You know, this is the sort of thing that the community is great at. You know, like we might not be able to bring anything to the table, but if you want to have a go at it, have a go at it.
Indeed. All right. So the next question, and this is an important one, and I think probably any of us can answer this one, so someone can put their hand up. Is the website intended to be only a forum for discussion, or is it intended to be a forum for discussion as well as a wiki repository for archiving information, documentation, knowledge, guides?
Yes.
Heck yes.
Nothing is set in stone in our forum. Really, we are community members who created this for the community, and we have a feedback section that takes your feedback, and it will evolve and morph over time. So whatever we don't have now, potentially, as long as it's not illegal, we can have it in the future. So yeah, the perfect answer was just given. Yes to all of it.
Yes. I mean, it has been. This was one of the things that was at the forefront, even in the very early stages of the decision making, when we were working out what platform that we wanted to use. We wanted to make sure it was a platform that would allow us to sort of to create, sort of wiki style, repositories of information. So, yeah, I mean, yes, the short answer is yes, and yes. So that was an easy one. Okay, next question. Is there an information page showing who all the admin, staff, site officials are? And the answer is yes. If you go on to Tinker Different and you go into, I think it is an announcements, I think? No? Hang on. Sorry.
You can go to You can go to members, and then on the left-hand side, you should see staff members.
Or the right-hand side, depending on the team. Whatever.
Yep. But we also have a section in there where we've done a little. Most of us have done a little bio, a little introduction, so that you can get to know who we are, a little bit of information about us and our history and all that. And I can't for the life of me remember where it is. Anyone remember where it is?
Yep, that is.
It's in. I'm pretty sure it's in the soapbox. Yes, in the soapbox.
In
there's section introductions. Yep, you'll see a whole series of staff bios there, and that'll give you a bit of information about us, and sort of potentially as that grows, we'll add more people to it as we go. So, yep. So that's that short answer that I made long. Okay, this is an interesting one. Is there an upper limit planned on the number of site officials? Don't know. Anyone thought about this one?
I think the way it works at the moment is that we have enough staff for a sizable community to begin with, but obviously as the community grows, the amount of moderators that we add to the team will have to grow as well, almost not necessarily in lockstep, but just to scale with the community. I don't think there's necessarily going to be an upper limit. If you're talking about admin staff, though, I don't imagine we'd be bringing on any more people in terms of actual site admins. And one of the things, I don't know if this is going to lead into another question as well, but with regards to us in administrator positions currently, there is no such thing as a perpetual admin here. Okay, we are here for a fixed amount of time. We want the community to to be involved in, like, who do you want running the site? Who do you want to be the admins? If our names get put into a hat and we get voted for, great. But if we want to step down at any time, so if, for example, in 6 months' time, I put my hands up and say, "Hey guys, I've got a lot on my plate personally. I'm moving house, or I'm getting married, or whatever. I can't, don't give you guys the time that is required of an admin position. Then someone else is welcome to take up my position or be nominated for it."
Yeah, excellent. Some of these questions are kind of interesting ones. So this one here, is there a process for demoting site officials or misbehavior or other issues? I guess we have all come together with a very singular goal, and that is that we want this forum to be a very friendly place. And so we are putting positions in place to, sort of for managing site officials, making sure that people are doing their job correctly. So, we as much as possible will be, as I say, the main goal is that this is fun for everyone. And so, we will be obviously, keeping an eye on things like that. But at the moment, probably no official process as yet. These are things that are sort of continuing to be figured out as we go. But that's probably, unless someone has anything else to add to my complete non-answer to that question.
It's a great answer, and it's just not codified. We haven't written it down because when things are not codified, it means that common sense needs to take over. So if there's any one of us that's posting skinny dipping, posting photos of ourselves on the forum, or just going absolutely out of our minds, then obviously that's going to be noticed and action will be taken. So really we will. We're not going to jump at every little thing, but at the same time, we are going to be very mindful.
But what about
our
the calendar we were discussing before?
We are not doing that.
Yeah, that's on the calendar, yes.
No. The
Yes,
human
yes,
race
after
is not ready for that.
Christian volunteer. So.
After we created the promo video, there was talk of a calendar, with us all, 1 month each. So yeah, look out for that, folks. That's it'll be something that everyone will want to get.
I'm just hiding myself behind a Apple Network server, so there's a lot left to the imagination.
Just an Apple Network server? How about an SGI Crimson in my case? Just hide behind it to see a head.
I'm sorry. I'll be wearing stonewashed jeans and a white shirt holding a mic.
One thing I will say is that, with regards to, mods and admins, we are not above the law. We adhere to exactly the same sort of code of conduct that we expect everybody to handle. So I doubt this will ever happen, but if on the off chance something happens with either an admin or a mod where something is, said or done, it's not going to be a case of like, they're untouchable, they're on the admin team, or that, they're a mod. No. Everyone goes by the same set of rules. It's not one rule for me and one rule for thee. It is, we are all in the same boat. I want to make that absolutely clear. There is no one above the law here.
Excellent. Good stuff. And that's, we've got, how were the current site officials chosen? And at the moment, it's been fairly organic, but this is something which we are sort of in the process of doing at the moment, and in terms of sort of looking to secure some permanent positions. But one of the really important things when this thing came together was we had this great big group of people, the 12, 13 people, something like that, all came together. And we're all like, yep, this is fantastic. Let's go ahead and we'll do it. Now, some of the people that were there, the enthusiasm is there, but, the time isn't. And some of those people, they sort of step back, not because they're not wanting the thing to happen, but they just don't necessarily have the time to devote to it. It would have been premature for us to go around and start putting some of these positions in stone early on, simply because we don't know how much time everyone is going to have. We don't know the level of involvement that everyone's going to have. So, we have, just over the last few months, we've been getting a feel for the people that are, really active and, sort of keeping everything rolling and all that sort of stuff. And then we, further down the track, we then make the decision about, who is going to be taking what role. So it's something that is still kind of organic at the moment, but there is going to be a voting process that goes ahead in the not too distant future for some of the permanent site official roles.
And for those of you who noticed the apostrophes, you probably noticed Bruce's word permanent, but actually it's semi-permanent in that there's no perpetual kings in our kingdom. It's not even a kingdom, actually. It's
that's a very important point.
Yeah.
It's the People's Republic of Judea.
It is a really important point to make, that we will be putting these, we'll be sort of setting up these positions, but they are not designed to be permanent positions. It could be one of you guys one day, getting active in the forum, sort of becoming part of it, that sort of thing. And then the next thing we could be having a vote, and it could be one of you guys actually taking one of these roles. So, the purpose is to have people in these positions at the moment to keep everything moving. But yeah, it is not sort of in perpetuity. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have no idea the answer to this one. Who's going to take this?
I'll take that. Okay. Staff is an all-encompassing term that we're using to describe, admins, server admins, moderators, basically anyone other than just a regular user. Administrators, obviously, that includes, everyone here is an admin of some description. Roles are yet to be fully defined yet. As Bruce said, there's a lot up in the air as to how much time we can dedicate to certain things, and who's going to be volunteered for whatever role. But there are also forum moderators as well. Out of our beta testers, there is Drake and Max. They're both widely known, respected members of the community that we've asked to be moderators on our site. And again, it's just because, Max has put out some incredible projects already. He's done the reverse engineering of the LC and the LC3. Drake is doing VRAM sim modules as well. But again, these are both great guys who we asked, hey, would you like to be a moderator for our forum? It's not like we've just gone, hey, you over there, yes, you're a moderator now. We're not. They've not been voluntold. They've actually put their hands up and said, yeah, I'd like to be a part of this, and they've come on board as moderators. And obviously, as I mentioned, as we scale, as the user base increases, we will need more moderators. And for that initial stage, it will be us just looking through, hey, who do we think would make a good moderator? And we'll just come along and say, hey, would you like to be? Max is working the LC2 at the moment as well. Maybe we should make him an admin as well. As more moderators kind of come on board as well, it'll turn into a bit more of a process where they will then start looking at other moderators if they need to be replaced, and we kind of like step back from it. It's early days, but the plans are in place for a few months down the line for everything to kind of take shape a bit more.
I'm just going to put this question up. This is one of the ones we've just had come in the chat, so just temporarily. This is coming from Elemento. It's great to see site leadership spanning the globe. Will you be making an effort to include additional diversity in your board? Now, the first thing I'd like to say is it is quite amazing that I think right at the moment, in the 6 people we have here, we're all in a different time zone, I suspect. So that's quite an achievement. But will we be making an effort to include additional diversity? Yes, we would very, very much like that to be the case. It is not our fault that everyone seems to be middle-aged men with beards. And some without beards.
There we go. That's our diversity, right? James is our diversity.
James is the diversity. Yeah, we welcome as much diversity as people are prepared to throw at us. It's kind of I don't know. It's a shame that we're in a situation at the moment where we are looking at this group of middle-aged men. Sorry if there's anyone here who objects to being referred to as middle-aged. I
was about to say that, then I realised I'm 40 in a few months, and I realised that does make me a middle-aged man.
I feel like I'm 60.
If I live to be 100, my goodness,
Yes. But yes, I mean, absolutely, we will definitely be making an effort to include diversity. As I say, as much diversity as gets thrown at us. So there's.
I'm really passionate about that, Bruce. That's not to say that we're going to go out actively saying, well, we have to have a certain percentage, and that kind of gets off on an extreme. But bringing in more ladies, and I'm not going to out anybody by pointing out any particular lady because that would be wrong. However, we do have ladies in the community, and it would be great to have them be a part of it if they want to. But sometimes you just need to have a little bit of encouragement. So if my vocalizing this can encourage some of the ladies to come forth and say, yeah, I'd like to be a part of it, that would be a wonderful thing. That would be a really wonderful thing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Now, there was a question here. I'm only putting these questions up now because I don't want them to get lost too far in the chat. Here's one. Did Bruce create the Tinker Different logo? No. Steve did that. So that was, again, one of the things that we did very diplomatically. We are basically, as a group, we said to everyone, submit your logo ideas. And we all did that. And then we did a vote. And the one that we have is the one that won. And that was actually created by Steve. His little sort of illustration of the open, compact Mac in the corner. That was his. So
I had the original scribble on my desk somewhere, but the idea just came to me of Bruce and I have looked at these things in that angle so many times, and I just thought there was something cool about you see the nice profile of the finished product and then the big guts just sticking out the back. So
yeah, indeed. So yes, that was Steve's contribution, and in actual fact, I think
here it is. Found it.
The domain name was Steve's contribution as well, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's the original sketch I'm holding up. So there you go.
Wonderful.
But again,
that was
all very democratic. We voted on it and
absolutely.
had a number of votes. So yeah.
Yeah, we had, I think we started off with, probably a good, maybe like 20, 30 names. We then whittled
Not
that
all
down
of them
to we whittled that down to a list of, I think, around about, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 or something like that, and then we had a final vote on those. And Tinker Different was the winner. And so, I should just mention, Australians say Tinker. So if anyone's objecting to the way I pronounce that word, it's Tinker. So
you also say good eye, right? Like good eye,
mate.
Good eye.
Good eye.
Good eye, Mike. How you doing?
Is this going to get into the Bondi versus Bondi discussion again?
No, there is no discussion there. There's only one way to pronounce it. So, look, don't take my word for it. Go back and watch the video of Steve Jobs introducing it, and you'll get to hear him say it the way it's meant to be said. So
do you watch the dubbed version of the original Mad Max, or?
No, I don't.
No.
Different versions.
I should actually. A shout out to any of my fellow Australians who are watching. We're in mourning today after the death of Bert Newton, an Australian legend. So yes, no one else in the world will know who the hell he is, but yes, it's Australians will know who I'm talking about. Okay, and there was one other question in here from the chat that I just wanted to bring up. We'll then jump back to we're getting to the end of the questions, so not too much longer. But one of the questions here, I'll read it out. Will you guys be active as a group on YouTube? And really, that was we sort of discussed that before. In that we do plan to have these occasional YouTube videos, ones like this. They will probably be ones just, talking about things that are going on the forum, changes, great projects. We'll probably create little videos like that. But at the moment, we're still thinking that sort of stuff out. The main purpose of this video was just so that you guys could get to know us. So, but yes, there is a good chance that we will be doing future videos. Okay. How is the site being messaged and announced? Well, we're kind of seeing part of it now, but we're utilizing whatever social media channels we can find, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Reddit or other things. We ultimately would like to have a presence on all of those social media channels. And, but really what we do hope is, once we get a certain amount of people on there, it's going to be word of mouth. People are going to be saying to other people, hey, you really should jump onto this forum and have a look. So, yeah. Unless anyone has anything to add to that, I'll move to the next one. This is one that I paraphrased from someone else's question. He was ultimately asking this, and I just put this into this kind of question because we have created different groups, and we've created all different channels. What do we call them? Different threads in the forums. So to make things easier to find, that's one of the main things. But we are not going to be rude and horrible about people that might potentially put something in the wrong place because they're not aware of it. If we see that would probably get better response in a different forum, we'll politely say so. But we are not going to be rude and horrible about people that might have posted something in the wrong place, or they might be asking a question about a modern computer in a vintage forum or something like that. As I say, we might move things like that, in an effort to make sure that person gets the best response, but we're not going to be, rude and awful about it. So, I think there'll definitely be sort of some leniency with that sort of stuff. So
we are very different. We are very open-minded. So of course, naturally, we're going to have the broad view of defining vintage as anything within the expansive 10 years of the 1980s and nothing else.
And it must have a 68K chip in it. Yes, no,
It must be beige.
It must be beige.
Must be beige, yes.
I would say that although I mean, like Tigger Different, I think is going to be very much different from a lot of other communities in the fact that if you want to post up something about like, oh hey, I've just figured out this cool hack to my to the motherboard on my Ryzen 7, that's cool. Post it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the niche of vintage and beige and oh no, we've got a cutoff. It's tinkering in general. I mean, obviously we're focusing on vintage computers like straight out the gate because that's what the community is currently and what you guys have asked for and shown interest in. But as we've said, it's tinkering of all types. So yeah, feel free to post whatever content you want, and if it's cool, it's fine. It's all good.
But that was the other question too, Bruce, that you haven't put up yet. About someone was asking about an IBM PC, right?
Ba-ba-bam.
Here we go.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yes, this is an easy one to answer. Yes.
Did that come from Mike?
And then I've got this one here. Yes. Yes. So we will accept.
We added PC, like IBM PC compatible x86 category all to itself. You want to post stuff up, content about that? Go for it. All good.
Yep. No worries. Now, we're moving into the silly questions now, and then we'll just. I'm mindful of the time here. We will then just see if anyone else has any other questions in the chat. We've got this question here submitted by someone. Who is Kai Robinson? What is Kai Robinson? And will he ever return to his home planet? I mean, we really don't know the answer to any of these questions. So I think we'll just have to defer that. We might find out one day. But for the moment, we really have no idea.
I'll answer it. Yes. Oh no! Depending,
Yes. Okay, and we've got this one here. Very important question. This one here.
Oh, I like those questions.
Will cookies be served on launch day, James?
Well, a lot of people are not aware of this, but cookies have been served from day one. And the great part is you don't even have to be registered to check out those cookies and to get them. And if you go to the Tinker Different website, even before you're registered, it says it right there. Cookies help personalize content and keep you logged in. If you register by using this site, you are consenting to use of our cookies. So, the cookies are always being cooked up and served, and they're extremely delicious too. So I hope that will please one and all. You just simply have to click the little accept button right there to get your cookies. And
get your cookies.
They'll stay with you for a while too. So
get your cookies here. So yes, there we go. There's a very, very important answer to that one. All right, so we've got a couple more of the questions from the chat. We've got one here from the House of Moth. Are non-English language posts permitted on the forum, or is it English language only? That is something we have not discussed amongst ourselves. We haven't really formulated a plan for any of that, but I would imagine it would be fine. Yep, James, go for it.
I just very briefly, because we're running out of time today, and that is some of our Japanese users, they actually do exist in the forum. And I have been encouraging. One of the gentlemen is actually a person who sold something to me recently on Yahoo Auctions Japan, and it just turned out he was a subscriber of mine. It just really blew us both away, But we were having dialogue, and he has difficulty with English, and I said, you know what, just type in some Japanese. He says, well, no, I feel I need to type in English too. Okay, put both if you'd like, because sometimes it can be difficult to understand. And I believe that gentleman actually had a conversation with you, Bruce, in one of the threads, and at the very last comment, he made something that really didn't make a lot of sense. But I talk to people privately offline because they'll email me their concerns, and I just try to tell people, go right ahead. There's probably going to be a lot of people, if you speak French, if you speak other languages, that will also speak the same language too and engage you. I don't think our forum is going to be overtaken by a non-English language or anything like that. By our encouraging people to talk in a foreign language, and it could be that maybe it's in their best interests if we have a Japanese language subforum. Maybe, I don't know, but we're flexible on that, and I think that we should be welcoming and accommodating to all people, and try to make them feel comfortable so they're not really stressed out. It's really impossible for some people to convey what they want to convey in English.
Yep. No, that's they're all very very good points there. So yes, I mean the short answer to that is yes. Yes. So Jay, you can.
だから本当に日本語で書いてくださいよ。全然怖がらないでください。書いてくださいよ。本当に。
And there you go. There's proof.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Wonderful. So now there was another one here. So I'm just having a look here. Are there any other questions? If you guys have been having a look at the chat, I've been busily sort of pressing buttons, so I haven't actually seen a lot of these. Are there any other? Yes, thought Kai's name was Kia. No, that is not correct. Despite the fact that some of his family members refer to him as that, that is not actually his name.
I've been making an effort to copy the questions and paste them in the backstage.
Excellent, good stuff. So, look, I think we have. I mean, let's. If people want to shoot out any questions now, if we haven't covered it, I mean, I would like to think that we've been, we've probably covered most of the questions that people may have had. But if people do have any other questions, I think we have answered all of the ones that appeared during the chat. Yep. I think we're all good. So
the only thing I have to add is just that we really are different in a good way, and that we are warm, we are welcoming. If you've had trouble in other forums, so long as you're not a spammer or did anything illegal, you're probably going to have an okay time in our forum. Our moderators are very friendly people. They're not going to just jump on you and attack you. We're talking about common sense here. So that's really how we put this forum together. By community members, for community members, and the best part is, if any of you see anything that's going on, any abuse, any bullying, or anything like that, probably we'll catch it first. But if we don't, we have the feedback section, which is public, and we're not going to give you a warning point for giving us suggestions publicly. If you want to say something privately, you can. If you say something that's negative against us, we're not going to get bent out of shape. We're not going to give you a warning point for that. So we're very, I don't want to say lax and anarchist. We do have rules, but still at the same time, we respect you as a person. And we welcome you, and we hope that you'll join us.
Yeah, just send all the complaints to Bruce, and he'll handle them.
I should actually just mention really quickly, Adam McGee, who is just saying he's heading off. Thank you for joining, and see you later. And he did mention before that he has a broken IBM PC Junior that he might put onto the forum. Please do that. I love those silly little things.
I saw that thing in person. It is. It is.
Any sidecars? Did it have some sidecars?
It was missing a side. Let's just say that. It was a little bit rough. Let's just say
I've always just found the concept of the IBM PC Junior and the sidecars that stick onto the side. I thought that was just, who knows? That could have been the future of computers. If it didn't fail so dismally. But the old IBM PC Junior is a great one. So yes, I would love to see that posted up onto the forum for sure.
And I think we just can't end this until everybody in the live chat here registers on the forum. So we'll be waiting. Come on.
Yep. It is live. It is active. It is launched. I know we said the 31st of October, and some people may still be in the 30th, but I'm in the 31st. So it has been launched. James is in the 31st. So it's already Halloween here.
Wedding anniversary.
Just now.
Wedding anniversary, October 31st. Believe it or not. Yeah.
There you go. There's timing for you.
What are you waiting for? Go get the ice cream man. Go.
Yes, it is live. It is active. Jump on there. Come and have a look at some of the absolutely awesome stuff that is there. So there's just some, even just in the time that our beta testers and we have been in there, there's already some really amazing things in there, some fantastic projects. Jump on, have a look, and post your own stuff. It would be fantastic. I just need, as we're finishing up, I just need to mention that we do have a Discord that we have just set up. So I'm going to plonk that up there for people who like Discord. But I mean, to be honest, there's the forum. You could just use that. But but we do have a Discord because there are some people that do like the old Discord. So that's probably it. I'll just sort of bring that up there to end. So yeah, as I say, jump on, join. Thank you very much for joining us today. We do plan to have an occasional YouTube video from time to time, so we'll let you know. What's something's coming up in the chat.
And if you've enjoyed this session, smash that like button.
I'll do it. Smash that like button.
There we go.
Sorry, it's early still. So, yeah, fantastic. As I say, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to everyone here. Thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone who has actually joined this stream. Thank you to you guys, sort of our founders and everything like that for taking out your time, particularly for those in in parts of the world where it is really, really late now. Yeah, jump on, join. Thanks again, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
End broadcast.